Do you think ethics warrants a 24-hour conversation, say a filibuster of sorts?
You know, ethics, something, you know, that would make them want to read about it and kind of figure it. I mean, you could have students who've had experiences, positive and negative, that they've had. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of students who've either been not necessarily accused, but you know, suspicion of plagiarism or things like that incorrectly, and then some that have been caught in different ways. And so I think that would be a good learning experience for a lot of incoming students to go, hey, this is a big deal if this happens here at the university or any other university. You know, this is what it could lead to.
For our course, we have to submit it through Blackboard and through Turnitin.com. And the Turnitin.com, we're just trying to see if people plagiarize, and we also are aware of the fact that it's not always totally accurate. But the thing is, sometimes there's just no other, you know, the teachers or the professors that are really into, you know, do it in your own words, make sure that you're not plagiarizing. The thing I feel like what they miss out on is the aspect of sometimes there's only so many ways you can explain something, and chances are you're not the first person to explain it in that term. And I feel like that's the problem with academics now. It's like, it's either some people are too lenient on it, and then there's like the extreme end, they're like, you have to do it like this, and no, you can't. I have been teaching, I recently took it over, and the thing is, they told us that to make sure that they don't put too many quotes in their paper, because what Turnitin.com does is that it actually skips over it, because technically they're sourcing it. Well, if they pretty much copied and pasted, and then they put quote from the beginning to the end, it's like that skips the whole entire paper.
Obviously, it's an important thing relative to plagiarism, relative to scholastic honesty or dishonesty, etc. On the flip side, I would almost focus not so much on the punitive, but on perhaps encouraging the positive of ethics, positive behavior. Point out certainly plagiarism, etc., but make it as something that won't feel so castigated, punished for, but just something that lets them feel good about doing it the right way.
So on the positive rather than on the negative.
It should be integrated into our
core requirements?
Yeah. Part of the reason is because the day I mean, technically, ever since you went to school, you were supposed to not cheat. You weren't supposed to do all this and do all that. I mean, it's just that as more time goes on, it just gets more important that here it's like if you do get caught, you know, with plagiarism or anything of that sort, you know, you really could be expelled. And chances are, if you try to reapply for another school or anything of that sort, you know, they're going to look back at your records and be like, oh, I wonder why you got expelled from your other school. Or even if you were dishonest about it, I feel like they can always find out, and then they can kick you out for the same reason. I mean, it's one of those things that you got to nip it in the bud right then and there. And you know, a bachelor's degree was the standard back in the day. Now everybody's kind of getting their master's and their PhD, and I feel like at this point it's just more important that, you know, with every level of education that increases, you have to get that nipped in the bud.
An ethics statement on the website of each department, and maybe, you know, when we put together our syllabi, we have so many different components consistent with the university department, etc. Maybe we would have an ethics statement there too. So it wouldn't necessarily mean a series of workshops, even though that would be great too. I think the idea is to incorporate it, ingrain it, fuse it into the core mission of the department and the university as a whole. And we could have 1,000,001 types of activities like this, but if all we do is sit around and talk about it and there's no follow-through at the end, I mean, but why are we doing it if we're just sitting around talking? There has to be something tangible that we arrive at. And then from there, hopefully, other steps that come. But yeah, I think evaluations from the participants would be great to give us a direction for the next time that we get together.
Think about ethics. How is this going to change how you prepare for classes or whatnot. Because like you said, you can sit there and talk all day about it, but there has to be some end goal, some end result. And if it's getting that information out there and students acknowledging that, okay, now this is something that I'm thinking about, or this is something that you've caused me to think about by having this event, then you've reached, I guess, whatever your goal was.
It instills a strong ethical behavior from the get-go at a very basic level, very deep, ingrained value. I think it would benefit the mission of the university as well, because we have the mission and the vision statement that we all support. But I think the ethics statement would also be a bedrock for that. Hopefully, and I'm not saying that we're in a bad ethical state now, but hopefully it will improve because of this constant reminder, that we're here to do what is right, to comport ourselves, instill in us a good mode to